Have you ever experienced a kind of quiet pain? Not a big blow up, but more like the sting of a message that just goes unanswered?
Or maybe a smile that you thought was warm and suddenly it's just cold?
Exactly. Or that slow fade from someone you really trusted. It's this ache, right?
Yeah, it's a really specific kind of hurt.
It can make you feel so unseen, sort of undervalued, just small.
Completely.
But what if, and this is what we're exploring today, what if right there in that feeling of absence, there's actually some unexpected power?
That's a fascinating idea.
So today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, the huge impact of feeling undervalued, yeah, and the surprising strength that can actually come out when you decide to step back.
Hmm.
Our source for this is, well, it's a really insightful essay. It's called When Your Absence Speaks Louder, The Karma of Being Undervalued.
Ah, the one by Mamun Ahmed from Life 2.0.
That's the one. Great book. So our mission here is to kind of unpack how silence can hurt so much. And then how you can start to reclaim your own worth. And also this idea of karma. Maybe it's not what we always think.
Yeah, maybe something more subtle, more empowering even.
Exactly. The goal is that by the end of this, you'll have some new ways to think about these situations, maybe navigate them with a bit more clarity and confidence.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the essay kicks off by really nailing down these quiet hurts. There's a section, When Silence Hurts Most.
Hmm.
And it paints such a clear picture. Pan isn't always loud drama. Often it's quiet, a withdrawal.
Like that unanswered text you mentioned. Or the cold shoulder.
Yeah, or just someone slowly disappearing from your life, someone you trusted. Why do you think these sort of silent wounds, why do they hit so hard? Maybe even harder than, say, a direct argument.
Well, I think it's because they're so ambiguous, right?
Yeah.
A direct argument, you know what you're dealing with. But this silence, it attacks your sense of reality almost.
Yeah.
Your identity. And Ahmed really captures how these quiet things, they don't just bruise you emotionally, they go deeper. They make you question your actual worth.
Right.
And that leads to this awful spiral of confusion, self-doubt. He points to those questions we torture ourselves with, doesn't he?
It does. Was it something I did?
Was I too much? Or the flip side.
Or not enough, yeah. It's relentless.
Exactly. So that quiet pain, it's really trying to dismantle your sense of self.
Yeah.
Which is why, getting back your sense of worth is just crucial.
That feeling is horrible. Feeling invisible, like you don't even matter enough to warrant a response. But the essay points out something important next.
What's that?
That you're not alone in feeling this. It's actually really common. The essay calls it out. You're not alone.
Absolutely. Feeling unseen, undervalued. It happens to so many people. And this is where the essay brings in some really powerful wisdom from the Stoics.
Yes. Like Marcus Aurelius.
Exactly. It quotes him directly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's pretty profound, isn't it?
It is. Focusing on your internal state, not what others do. But let's be real, for someone who's hurting because they feel undervalued,
Yeah.
how easy is that practically to just internalize that Stoic idea when, getting that external validation feels so important?
Oh, it's definitely not easy. It's probably the hardest part. That's the real work. But the Stoic point isn't about just rolling over and accepting bad treatment. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's more about deeply understanding that your core value, your real worth, isn't actually decided by how other people see you or treat you, or by, what happens externally.
So where does the strength come from then?
It comes from inside.
Yeah.
From how you handle yourself, how you respond internally when things get tough, when people don't see you clearly. It's about anchoring yourself in your own self-respect.
Yeah.
No matter what's happening out there.
That idea of anchoring yourself, that fits really well with the next part of the essay about the quiet justice of life.
It pushes back against that, Hollywood version of justice, big confrontations, dramatic apologies.
Right. Which rarely happens in real life. The Stoics got that. They saw justice or maybe balance as something much quieter, slower. It's like the energy you put out, eventually it finds its way back.
So not instant karma, but a gradual balancing.
Kind of. And Seneca, another Stoic quoted in the essay, puts it so powerfully. He says something like, the time will come when what is hidden will be revealed and the masks people wear will melt under the weight of their own choices.
Wow. That's quite an image. Masks melting.
Isn't it? It
Right.
suggests this internal reckoning. Maybe not even visible to others, but it happens. It's not about external punishment necessarily.
So how does that connect to Ahmed's take on karma in the essay? Because he reframes that too, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. It's not about wishing ill on someone, not at all. It's more about seeing karma as this natural rebalancing.
So when someone treats you carelessly or takes you for granted, they're not just hurting you and getting away with it. According to this view, they're actually um, creating their own inner emptiness.
How so?
Because your absence, the good energy, the connection, the value you brought that's now gone, it leaves a void. Ahmed calls your absence a silent mirror.
A silent mirror reflecting what they lost.
Exactly. What they chose to lose through their actions. It's a really interesting perspective on accountability, much more internal.
That internal focus, it leads straight into another really key point Ahmed makes. Choosing closure for yourself.
Oh, this is so important.
Right, because we're often taught, or we just assume, that closure has to come from the other person. An apology, an explanation.
Yeah, that big closure talk, which often never happens or doesn't actually satisfy.
Exactly. But Ahmed argues that real closure, it starts inside you.
It happens the moment you decide. You decide to
Yes.
stop waiting for them to fix it, to validate you, to apologize.
You stop giving them your energy.
Precisely. Stop pouring energy into someone who couldn't see your worth in the first place. And Ahmed calls that choice real emotional intelligence.
So it's not running away.
No, it's choosing yourself, choosing your own peace over waiting for something that might never come. It's about taking back your power in the situation, your agency.
Okay, so you make that internal choice. Then comes the next step, which the essay calls letting go and setting boundaries. Easier said than done, usually.
Oh, definitely. Letting go is hard. Setting boundaries can feel really uncomfortable at first.
But powerful.
Incredibly powerful. Because letting go means you stop trying to shrink yourself down to fit somewhere you're not valued. You stop contorting yourself.
And the boundaries, are they about anger?
No. And Ahmed is clear on this. It's not about bitterness or building walls out of spite. It's an act of self-care. Self-love, really. You do it for your own peace.
That reminds me of the Marcus Aurelius quote again.
Which one?
The one about revenge. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice.
Yes. That nails it. Your growth, staying true to yourself, evolving beyond the situation is the most powerful response.
Yeah.
You don't need to stoop to their level. You just grow past it.
Okay, this next bit is fascinating. Your absence, their lesson. It suggests things shift over time. How does Ahmed describe that playing out?
Well, he makes the point that if down the line, the person who undervalued you does realize what they lost,
Right.
that realization, it's not your problem anymore.
It's not your responsibility to manage their feelings about your absence.
Exactly. The silence you left, the space where you used to be that speaks for itself. You don't owe them explanations or reassurances at that point. Your worth was never dependent on their validation anyway, remember?
Right. And how does this connect to, like, the overall healing process?
Ahmed frames healing really well, I think. It's not about forgetting the pain or pretending it didn't happen. It's about learning from it.
Turning wounds into wisdom.
That's a great way to put it. Turning wounds into wisdom and then letting go with grace, not resentment. And Seneca pops up again here, right? With that line about imagination.
Oh, yeah. We suffer more in imagination than in reality.
Which really means the story you tell yourself about what happened, how you frame it, how you integrate that experience.
Yeah.
That's far more important than their actions or their side of the story. Your narrative matters most.
So, wrapping this all together, for you listening, if you're going through this quiet hurt, what's the main takeaway? It seems to come down to this idea, your healing, your power.
Exactly that. Your healing journey, your growth, finding your peace again that is entirely within your control. It's yours to claim.
It's about building that life where, as the essay says, your value is never up for debate.
Right. And that means actively setting those boundaries we talked about, investing in your own dreams, your passions, letting the pain make you wiser, definitely, but not letting it make you smaller.
And if you're wondering about that karma thing, if justice will be served.
Ahmed's answer is powerful. It already is working. Maybe not in some big dramatic show,
Yeah.
but quietly, internally, inside you. Every step you take towards healing, every time you choose yourself, every boundary you set, you're becoming stronger, more aware, more focused on what actually matters. That internal transformation is the balance.
Yeah.
That's the real karma in action.
That's a really empowering way to look at it. So we've explored quite a bit the quiet power that can come from absence, how closure is really an internal choice, and seeing your own growth as the truest form of balance or karma. The essay leaves us with a few really good questions to reflect on. maybe take these with you.
Good idea.
First, where can you set a boundary for your peace today, even a small one?
That's a practical one.
Second, how can you turn your pain into a lesson instead of a lifelong wound? Shifting that perspective.
Yeah.
And third, what does choosing yourself look like right now? In this moment, this situation.
Those are powerful prompts.
They really are.
Yeah.
And maybe we can end with this affirmation straight from Ahmed's essay.
Please do.
It says, "You matter." The story of your healing is far more powerful than any story about how you were hurt.
That's beautiful.
Keep going. You are worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You are worth it.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive today. We really hope this conversation helps you explore that profound strength you can find when you choose yourself.